Here's Jen Latta.
I don't think I have SAD. And that's not me making an error in grammar. I don't think I have like seasonal affective disorder. And then you get a 60-degree day in February, and I feel like frolicking in my yard, throwing petals around. And I go, oh, maybe I do have a little seasonal affective disorder. 60 degrees yesterday and the day before here in Wisconsin. And I got to be honest, I feel like a new person. You get a little warm weather when you're expecting it to be, cold. And it's glorious. I can't think of any other way to describe it, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, when you get it in February, you feel like you have to try to take advantage of it because you know it's not here to stay. Right? Like, it's just a little taste. You're just getting that little taste.
Fake spring.
Taste.
Fake spring.
Yeah. False spring, fake spring, fool man spring, however you want to put it.
See, I'm adjusting to heat.
We
went to a beach bar.
You just go ahead.
We went to a beach bar. Oh, he is talking, and Josh, Chewy, I know you're talking, but we can't hear you because you mentioned a beach bar. And
I'm getting used to the heat.
No, really. You need to get Gabe. Golf.
You don't have to get used to the heat.
It starts out
You just go
slow,
outside.
and then you get the heat, and then you have to adjust.
Well, and obviously everybody knows this, but when you go through, and this has been, especially considering the winters we've had the last couple of years, a particularly harsh winter. But at some point every winter, you're going to have at least a week where it is in the single digits or below zero for the entire week. Mm-hmm. And that then, even like today is going to be like a high of 40. It's going to feel awesome because your body just acclimated to the, 15 below that we were dealing with. So now 40, and that temperature change of 55 degrees feels fantastic.
Well, I talked to Dario yesterday, who is in Maryvale, Arizona, for Brewers spring training, and it was warmer here. At that moment, we compared temperatures on the old app, and I was like, oh, warmer in Wisconsin than Arizona. Bet you didn't see that coming.
I was able to get my roof on yesterday. Infinity Exterior. God, are they a great company? Highly recommend them. They're the talk and text line,
yeah,
right?
we love them here.
They're the Twitter poll.
No, but they follow through. They're legit. Great.
Did you say what they did for you?
Put on his roof.
Put the roof on.
Put on his roof.
Yeah. And those guys were in T-shirts. I'm like,
wow. Well, yeah, if you were doing work yesterday, I got to imagine.
Well, and again, I said,
working up a sweat.
So they put the roof on your house, not to be confused with the lake house or the Florida house, the house. I said, were you there to supervise?
No.
Send over the blammer?
No.
The cameras.
I bet the blammer. I'm willing to bet the blammer wandered over just to see what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he probably heard the nail guns. Probably had an urge to get up on the roof, which would have been a terrible idea.
You cannot let that man anywhere near a roof.
No.
Or a ladder.
That's the man sounds, the cutting of boards, the saws.
Jackhammer.
Guys just got to walk over and look.
Yeah.
Take a peek.
What you got going on over here? What you guys working on?
Oh, what do you got there? Phillips head?
It's like, I don't know better. It's like a neighborhood mating call. Everyone's got to come take a peek.
Is that a circular saw? Is that what you got there? Yeah? How many horsepower? I want to ask you guys if you saw the picture that's been circulating on social media of a typical Wisconsin spring day. Gabe, what was in that photograph that you shared with us?
So in the foreground, you have a guy who's teeing off on a golf hole because the snow is gone and, some courses are going to take advantage of the nice weather. And this particular course is on a lake. So in the background, you can see on that lake a couple of, shanties. So you could have gone ice fishing and golf. You could have played your round of golf, then headed out, to your shanty, got a little ice fishing in yesterday, or, vice versa. But where else can you get golf and ice fishing on the same day?
Well, and similarly, Chew, the Apostles Island, is it Apostles plural, Islands singular, or Apostles singular?
Islands.
Okay, Apostle is singular and Islands is plural. Great, got it, locked in. Apostle Islands National Lakeshore Ice Caves were open yesterday for the first time in 10 years. And this, to me, is starting to feel a little like the Northern Lights. This, to me, is feeling like one of those things that I never knew that I needed to do it, but I think I need to do it. I think I need to travel the 6 hours from here.
Hold, time out.
Uh-huh.
You're claustrophobic. You're not going in any cave.
Especially ones that have ice daggers hanging over them.
Can't I enjoy the view from outside?
Yeah.
Kind of seems like a waste to drive the 6 hours just to look at them from the outside.
My claustrophobia comes and goes. Like, there are some things, like we went into... now my brain's going to fail me. Shocking. What are the grottos? We went into the Blue Grotto when we were in Italy, in Capri, and I had no problem with the Blue Grotto. There was something about, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, going in and seeing this incredible natural, masterpiece, if you will. And so I was able to kind of get over the claustrophobia. But I will tell you this. I had a friend the other day say, hey, we should go do an escape room. And I was like, I don't think so.
Dave, are you claustrophobic?
No.
The craziest
Escape
thing I
rooms
ever
still
did.
exist in 2026? I thought that was the thing that was left in 2015.
I don't know, maybe. Should we Google it and see?
I mean, seemed like a fad that kind of came and went, because the thing about the escape room is once you do it once, you can't really do it again.
Have you guys ever been trapped in an elevator for an extended period of time?
What's extended?
More than 30, 40 minutes.
I think
Absolutely
10
not.
is the
Have
most
you?
I've ever been.
I have, yes. And I have never had claustrophobia. Guess who started to feel it after 20 minutes of no response, and you're just sitting there going, well, I really got to use the bathroom. What am I going to start doing here?
Yeah, that'll do it. Joshy, how have you checked so many of these random, unusual experiences off your bingo card?
Live a lot of life, do a lot of things.
I feel like you checked off a lot of those things. And how long did you live in New York? 18 months?
yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things, you just got to go out there and see it happen.
So I'm the only one who is like moved to go see the Apostle Islands ice caves?
No, this has been on my bucket list for a long time. I mean, I think anybody who's lived in Wisconsin for a long time, that's something that they want to do. But the problem is, unless you live kind of closer to that area, like you said, it's in the opposite corner of the state, right? It's a long hike to get up there. So when they haven't been open for a decade, you don't know when they're going to be open consistently. So it's not like something I can go, oh, next year, I am going to take off February 3rd and go up there, because you just don't know if it's going to be actually open to go check it out. Now, it's a cool place, from my understanding, to still go like during the summer and go check out all the stuff they've got going on up there at that point. But yeah, it's especially when they get frozen like they are right now. It is a beautiful thing to see.
It almost appears like you would never see that in Wisconsin. It feels like I'd have to go to some far-flung ancient type of place to see something like that, because it is so visually stunning.
Well, what's crazy is I'm reading the article now on the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and it says the ice caves last accessible, as we mentioned, to the public in 2014 and 2015, but they will be closed today due to a forecasted winter storm. So they were open all day yesterday. I think they opened at 8:30 in the morning, and people flocked to it. I mean, droves and droves. The pictures of the lines, and I was reading on social media as people were sort of live reporting from the Apostle Islands ice caves yesterday. I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people that flocked there yesterday to see these ice caves, and good thing they did, because if you were waiting until today, sorry, you're out of luck. It's closed. And there's something about that like element of it as well that feels like you got to strike while the iron is hot, right? Which is why yesterday I was doing the calculations. Could I make the drive? Could I drive the 6 hours from here to there, take in the caves, drive back? I would have pulled the kids out of school. There's like a 2-mile walk or something like that from the drop-off area.
You got to be ready for a 2 to 6 mile hike to do it.
What?
Yeah.
No one's got a four-wheeler or anything like that, shuttling back and forth?
Yeah, it's like a 2 to 6 mile hike. Yeah, like in totality. Yep.
A four-wheeler. We're going to be, that's
What? What's wrong with that? You hook a sled up to it, cart some people over, turn around, come back.
Speaking of
charge
New
them
York,
a
it's like
buck.
the rickshaws that you see in New York when you're
I mean, we're dealing with like parkland here. We don't want to be tearing it up with a four-wheeler.
That just does nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but what
I
does
like a
do
nice
something for you?
disaster or whatever they're called. What are they called? Natural, whatever they're called.
What?
I mean, I saw a volcano blow up right in front of my face, which I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, what was cool about it?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting it.
And by right in front of your face, how close were you?
Probably a mile away. I'll send you the picture. It was an unbelievable picture. Me and Angie just kind of stumbled out there. We were off. It was a northern island in Sicily, and the captain's saying, I think it was Mount Stromboli was going to explode, and she just happened to stumble out and take a picture. And it was
Stumbled because you guys
perfect.
were intoxicated?
Well, it was after dinner.
I knew that stumbled was a conscious decision by you there.
I never showed you guys this picture.
Well, but here's my point. Like, that's a natural phenomenon, right?
Yes.
Stumbling upon an active volcano is a natural phenomenon, not unlike what we're seeing up at Lake Superior here with the ice caves. That's a natural phenomenon. The conditions have to be just right for something like that to happen, as indicated by the lengthy delay between availability, a decade. That's sort of the thing where I'm like, if I have the opportunity to do it, there's a little tug of you should go see it because I don't want to regret not having seen it. So I guess it's FOMO. I guess what we've landed on, we've circled around, we've landed on the idea that I am going to have FOMO if I don't go up and see the Apostle Islands. What? I don't have FOMO. I'm not a FOMOer. What is that face?
Please.
You are?
I don't think I am.
I think you are.
What makes you think that?
With all of the things that you're constantly trying to jam into your life, that meets the criteria of somebody who is scared that they're going to miss out on something.
Yeah, but again, it's like the Northern Lights. It's like an active volcano. It's like if you have the opportunity to see those things, don't you want to go see them? You just said you do want to see them.
I want to see them, but again, I'm also at ease and at peace that there's a very likely chance that I never see them.
I think
because
it's the
of the inconsistency that it's just because again, like, okay, so we have done the show yesterday, Jen. It's a 6-hour drive up there. You'd have gotten up there at 3. Are you sure you would have gotten through the line? I mean, what's the line going to be like at 3 o'clock? Right? Like, so again, it's just hard to plan because it's hard to know when it's actually going to be open. Because again, I think Lake Superior went from 10% coverage of ice to 50% now from mid-January to now, which is why it's allowed to be open, right? So that the conditions have to be just right. And I'm not going to buy a bunch of weather maps and try to start figuring out when this thing is actually going to be open. Just have them just spread out over the kitchen table. Just, okay, what do we got here? All right, well, if the wind conditions are correct.
You're the guy from It's Always Sunny who's got the pegboard and the red string connecting all of the things. 800-990-3776. I have this unusual urge to go to the Apostle Islands ice caves. And again, open yesterday, closed today. So there is that like idea of unavailable. It's kind of like when you meet somebody and you're intrigued by them, but then they're all of a sudden unavailable and you're like, whoa, wait, what's happening here? And you're a little more attracted to them than you were previously. That's how I feel about the ice caves right now.
Well, and again, you could do it. You thought, maybe you could do it today. Nope, sorry, closed because of winter conditions. So it has to just be perfect conditions because again, you can't be just going out onto Lake Superior, with limited cell service and a 2 to 6 mile hike, and they can't be letting you do that in the middle of a winter storm.
I think my kids might be too little, too. Now that you're telling me all of these details, the 2 to 6 mile hike, I did see a bunch of people who bring sleds, and they pull the kids in sleds, right? They do the rope thing around the... What? Oh, is this your ATV four-wheeler?
Yes. Yeah.
Chewy's going to start a business where he sells four-wheelers up there or rents out four-wheelers for people to go see the ice caves.
See, I'm all for a natural, whatever they call those things, as long as you don't have to go too far. Like Northern Lights. I've seen the Northern Lights from my house in Waukesha, right?
Sure.
The volcano, which I just sent you guys, I walked out the door and it was right there. So you got to bring the thing to me.
It's not how any of this works.
Well...
The natural phenomenon.
That's just called happenstance.
Yeah, because additionally, nobody brought you the volcano. You actually did go to the volcano. Now, seeing it erupt, that was a crazy random happenstance because you happened to be, going on your cruise at that time. But you did go to that. They did not suddenly in Florida just transport a giant volcano
That's
and
fair.
throw it a mile away.
Is there something you want to see, Chew? You know, before the end of days, is there something that you're like, I've always wanted to see the pyramids. I've always wanted to see
Dinner
like,
at
out of the
5
eight-
p.m.
Stonehenge.
wonders?
I don't know.
Is it the 8 wonders of the world?
Yes,
Gabe?
That sounds right.
there are 8 wonders of the world.
I mean, Grand Canyon.
Actually,
yeah,
excuse
it's
me.
Fine.
7 wonders of the world. I believe Andre the Giant was the 8th.
Okay. So what are they? I mean, Grand Canyon. Yeah, great. I've flown over it. That's all I need to do.
I've flown over it. The Grand Canyon is actually spectacular.
But what do? You walk around? You can.
Yes, you walk around, you gaze at the marvel.
Niagara Falls. Is that another one, Gabe?
No. There are no 7 wonders of the world in the United States.
So what are the 7? Like pyramids? So what? Pyramid schmearing.
Really? See,
Go
now
to
you
Vegas.
mentioned
Look at the Luxor.
you mentioned me being claustrophobic earlier. That's
Yeah.
going to be a deal breaker for me.
The
Because
pyramids?
Dario really wants to explore the pyramids. He wants to go into those tiny little tunnels. He wants to, and I'm like, absolutely not. Could never, will never. Sorry, I'll look from the outside.
Great Wall of China. I've been on a wall before.
Great Wall of China is one
I've
of the
been
7.
on a
been
wall.
on a wall, he says.
Yeah. Keep going, Gabe.
The pyramids, the Great Wall of China, Petra in Jordan. Petra is on the list. The Colosseum in Rome.
Colosseum. I've been there. It's fine. It's fine. The architecture's the cool part, but
Yes, that would be.
Chichen Itza?
Chichen Itza is on there.
what's Chichen Itza? Sounds
Chichen
like what I had
Itza,
on.
it's in Yucatan in Mexico.
All right,
is
well,
it?
that feels doable.
Here's one you'll like, Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah, in Rio.
Oh, I've seen better things than that.
Machu Picchu.
Oh. What's that? I know it was on Seinfeld. Gabe, it was on Seinfeld, right?
It was. It is in Peru, and then the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is among the 7 wonders
I've
of
been
the
in
world.
real nice Capitol buildings, which is really all the Taj Mahal is.
Same thing.
Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong. Yep. Confidently can say wrong-o.
I think we should put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors, your guys, poll this morning. Do you have any interest in seeing natural phenomenons? We're obviously talking about the 7 wonders of the world now. Those not necessarily natural phenomenons, most of those man-made phenomenons. But the Apostle Islands ice caves are open, were open, and it seems like there's a small window of when you might be able to see it. It's 6 hours from here. Would you make the trip? Do you have any interest, or is it just me?
I feel like we can confidently say Chewy is vastly, severely in the minority here, since the national parks are some of the most visited places on Earth.
Well, let me just tell
it
you
seems
this,
to be
Joshy.
to the tune of many millions of people a year decide to build vacations around doing these things.
Joshy, I've been to the Coliseum. Jerry World is almost as cool.
It is not. You're not taking into any context.
I'm big on new. I like new stuff. I don't want, I don't want to buy a house that was built in 1785. I want one built brand new.
No one's asking you to buy any of these things.
I'm just.
They're asking you.
And if the house is still standing, it's probably a lot better than the new one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Isn't the oldness of these things part of their appeal?
100%. Because you look at the pyramids and realize that those were built 5,000 years ago, and you're going, how the
did they
bleep
do
did
that?
they do this?
Yeah, but
Same
Gabe,
thing with the
I
Great
bet-
Wall of China.
I bet
Same
they don't
thing
have
with the-
Wi-Fi. I bet they don't have,
I bet they have a cell signal right up to it. Guarantee it.
nothing to hook an HDMI cord up to. Right?
But who cares, man? Like, that's just not.
I don't know.
It's
I'm all
funny
about-
the guy who has the least knowledge and, I guess, use for technology of us is now using that as his excuse for not appreciating these wonders of the world.
Like,
I'm
going
a
and
creature
seeing.
comfort guy. I am a creature comfort guy.
Like, Chewy, I know you've been to Greece. Did you guys
Yeah.
go check out
Yep.
the Parthenon and those things? Because that's like up top of a giant
that was
hill.
fine.
It's like
way
how,
too crowded, Gabe, and way too many people. Way too many people and too many damn stairs.
Okay, but again, those stairs. Think about what they built on top of that hill, Chew. how they built what they did and how they built it up there. That's the amazing part of going to the. I don't care there's a million people there because everybody else is in awe of. Wait, they built this when? How the hell did they do this? If they built it
today, Gabe, it would have been so much better. Escalators,
I'm also humored by the fact that Meathead, my body is a temple, I got to get my workout in guy is like, no stairs for me. I need the escalator.
Yeah, he doesn't do legs.
What's happening?
This guy doesn't do legs. Come on.
Yeah, thank you, Gabe.
We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, all warmed up, all stretched out. Jason Wilde is coming up next. We'll talk what's going on at 12:65 right after this.
At Ewald Automotive Group, they believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower payments. That's why they're giving you $1,500 over book value for your trade-in. Get into a new vehicle with payments starting under $250 a month. Over 1,400 vehicles backed by their low price guarantee. $1,500 more for your trade. Payments starting under $250. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower payments based on Kelly Rubik. Fair trade value applies to 2013 or newer model years. Again, with Ewald, it's always easy. Just head over to ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
All right, we still have this issue. Northbound 94 at Ryan Road. They may have to close off a lane once the tow truck gets there. It's a car that went off into the ditch, kind of facing the wrong way, too. So just be careful around that area. We've got a squad on scene, though. Westbound 94 backing up just west of 27th Street all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backing up from 84th Street to Hawley Road. The rest of the system looking pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a high of 44. Tonight, chance of showers with isolated thunder, cloudy with a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Progressive presents ways to save money that aren't bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive.
Thanks again for taking me to the game, man. I can't wait to get in there. By the way, what's in the bag?
Oh, I bring my own hot dog and peanuts. Saves a ton.
Savvy. And what about the beach chairs?
Why buy seats when you can save big and bring your own?
We can't get in without tickets.
Tickets? What do you think the portable TV is for?
Don't save money pretending to go to the game. You could save hundreds by switching to Progressive. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
Jason Wilde joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm super duper. How are you guys?
Ooh, super duper feels like it's a good thing. I guess, is it the first day of the Chinese New Year? Did I see that? Supposed to do a bunch of different things. Gabe up there. I'm sorry. Josh is shaking his head back there going, what in the world are we talking about here?
Yes, like Jason's a big Chinese New Year guy.
No, but he said super duper. And to be honest with you, from everything I've been reading, you're supposed to enter the new year with a good attitude. And then it's supposed to, the way that you carry yourself today is supposed to sort of set the tone for how the entire year goes. So when Jason said super duper, I thought, oh, here's a guy who's off to a great start.
Yeah.
Do you recognize the Chinese New Year? Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm not taking any chances, Gabe. All right? I'm not taking any chances. Jason, there was an article or a rankings list that said that Jordan Love was the 14th best quarterback in the NFL. And that, to us, the collective, felt low given the year that Jordan Love had. Is that fair or unfair to say that 14th, basically middle of the pack, is lower than the season that Jordan Love put on display with the Packers?
God, I hate this time of year.
I know.
The rankings?
How is he 14th? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, do you do that? Again, do you know who put this out? Like, is it going to turn out to be like Greg Cosell or someone that I really respect? Or
Nick
Because
Shook.
I should probably know that beforehand.
What's his name,
Nick
Josh?
Shook?
Nick Shook, a guy who I had learned of for the first time.
I'm shook. I'm shook by that ranking. Yeah, no, I don't. Again, I don't know what the criteria are. Look, we live in a society where we either want to be able to crown someone or say they completely suck, like fans have done, or at least a portion of the fan base have done with the existing Packers head coach. I was talking to somebody yesterday who covers the Vikings, and they were just blown away by the amount of Packers fans in the Twin Cities that are fed up with Matt LaFleur. And I said, well, it looks like it's about 30% based on all of our polling data. And he said, okay, that makes sense. But, like, Kevin O'Connell obviously has had a ton of success up there, not necessarily with J.J. McCarthy. But, like, I think outside of our little bubble, where there are some very loud voices that are down on LaFleur, I think there's a lot of people that are like, what's wrong with Packers fans that they want to run this guy out of town? Do they not know what a bad coach really looks like? And when you tell me that Jordan Love is 14th, well, then Matt LaFleur must be an even better coach, right? If he's making the playoffs every year with a middle-of-the-pack quarterback that's getting paid $55 million a year. So, I know the combine starts next week, so we'll have some kind of fresh content. It would be great if we would talk to Jonathan Gannon sometime this century so we can get some thoughts on him and have some fodder to discuss about him. But I don't think Jordan Love is the 14th best quarterback in the NFL. I believe the numbers would indicate otherwise. I believe the eye test would indicate otherwise as well.
Jason, you mentioned the combine. I know you're a big combine guy, but what are some other big games coming up? When are the bonuses coming? When does free agency start? When does the good stuff get going here?
Yeah, so I think the league year starts on the 11th. I take it one day at a time, so I'm not worried about the roster bonus stuff. Now, look, you don't have to wait until then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can start working on. I was just about to say that. John Eric Sullivan ain't messing around, man. February 16th, you're out the door. But there's obviously some roster bonuses that are pivot points for certain players and what the team's plans are, right? And I'm fascinated by this. I think this says a lot about just how confident Goody was in signing Aaron Banks and in signing Nate Hobbs, because they had not done this as much. The third day of the league year or fifth day of the league year roster bonuses, the kind of you-know-what or get-off-the-pot type decisions that if the guy has a great year, you just convert that to a signing bonus. You spread it out over the remaining existing years on the deal, and you go on your merry way with some added cap space. And if you're disappointed in the guy and you don't want him on your team, you just say, sorry, we're not going to do this. Or it's a restructure point where you can say, look, we can convert this, but you're not going to get this. So we're going to restructure. You can earn it back in incentives or whatever else. But they had kind of gone away from that in the structure of their contracts. 2 years ago, McKinney didn't have one of these, I don't think. Josh Jacobs didn't have one for sure. And so it's interesting because, they gave both these guys contracts, but they also built money in that those guys might never see. And I don't think Hobbs is going to see it. I don't think that's a big, bold statement there. But I still am not 100% confident that Aaron Banks will. I can't imagine going into the season without him also when you're also planning on letting Sean Ryan and Rasheed Walker walk in free agency. But I don't think it's as clear-cut of a decision as you would have thought it would have been based on the signing of him a year ago.
So, Jason, in the next 20-ish days is when I would expect to get the decisions/releases of Elton Jenkins and Rashawn Gary, because you're going to want to have that money in order to negotiate when the legal tampering window opens on March the 9th. But some of those other levers you were talking about and taking, somebody like in restructuring Josh Jacobs' deal and all these other deals that can be, kind of pushing money off to the future, they're just going to kind of do that as they go, right? Because they're not going to want to get all of that money available, pay it later. They just want to use that money now if there's a free agent or somebody out there that they really like and want to go get.
Yeah, I mean, I don't – it's a great question. Certainly they don't have to do things if they're not planning on spending. Now, one of the things that Tausch and I were talking about yesterday, and I thought it was a really good point by him, is that I would expect that Goody will be going not bargain shopping per se, because obviously he's always kind of trying to do that, but the released by their previous team market as opposed to the true unrestricted free agent market. And the reason I agree with Tausch on that.
Typically older guys?
They are. And certainly I'm told that there is no line of demarcation at age 30.
Yeah, but everybody's expected to be back, Jason, so.
Yeah, I was also told that, yeah. We'd love to have him on our team. He did not say absolutely like he did with Aaron Jones, though. So that's progress. But if there are guys that are released, like Bradley Chubb is 31, I believe. I would be surprised. I don't know if there'll be guys that are released that are under the line of demarcation that doesn't really exist. But if you sign guys that are released, like Julius Peppers many moons ago, they don't count into the compensatory pick equation. And I do believe that the Packers are counting on, I think the maximum you can get is 4. And if they let everybody and their brother walk like they appear to be planning on doing from this 2022 draft class plus Malik Willis, they've got a shot at getting 4 in 2027. So I think they will be very selective in how they go about adding people. But that's why I think this offseason, I don't know if you guys all agree, but that's why I think this offseason is so fascinating, because for the guys they're going to let walk, for the holes that they already have to fill and could have more holes to fill, for where their cap situation is, they got a lot of work to do for a team that's viewed as one of the leading candidates for the Super Bowl, because I think a lot of odds makers and NFL experts say what I've been saying for months, which is they lost their 2 best players. And that's why they ended up. That's what Ed Policy was basically saying by extending everybody. But I think there's a lot of work to do here, and without a first-round pick, and without just being just completely swimming in cap space, I'm very curious to see how they go about resolving the issues they have on their roster.
Jason, good stuff this morning. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. You can, of course, hear him right after our show, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, on Wilde and Tausch, each and every day, 9 to noon on ESPN Milwaukee.
Tune to the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Bucks versus the World, narrated by comedian Charlie Behrens, reveals the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to take on the best national team in the world, the Soviet Union. Before the Dream Team, this long-forgotten tournament in Milwaukee globalized the game of basketball and opened the doors to international stars coming to the NBA. Find Behind the Bucks at bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 94 at Ryan Road. They were able to get a tow truck out there and pull this car out of the ditch without having to close off any lanes. But you do want to give them a little bit of extra room to deal with this northbound on 94 at Ryan Road. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, eastbound 94, watch for the backups coming in from just east of 92nd Street all the way to Hawley Road and again through the Stadium interchange to about 35th. The westbound side is slowing down from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, a high of 44. Tonight, chance of showers with isolated thunder, cloudy with a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Access to education changes lives. That's why National University provides flexible online and hybrid programs from associate to doctorate degrees. Since 1971, NU was built to serve non-traditional working and military learners nationwide. NU understands the demands of work, family, and service. Each year, more than 130,000 learners trust National University to move forward. Visit nu.edu to learn more.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you're headed to a Milwaukee Bucks game, you got to make Potawatomi Casino and Potawatomi Sportsbook the place to stop beforehand, because if you make a purchase or a bet, you'll get a wristband. You can take that wristband and get on the shuttle. That's right, there are shuttles running to and from Fiserv Forum. Pickups and drop-offs are in the annex. Shuttles begin departing Potawatomi 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game time. This is a no-brainer. Bet above the rest and get a ride to Fiserv Forum at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So let's talk about Jordan Love, because we mentioned this article, which again is an NFL.com article. I don't know Nick Shook, but he does work for NFL.com, and he revealed his latest quarterback rankings. And look, I don't want to have push this through the Homer prism. Not Homer, who you can hear on these airwaves from 5 to 6 every night. 4 to 5? 4 to 5.
5 to 6.
Thank you so much. Not that Homer, but like somebody who only sees the home teams and is like, our guy is better than everybody else. But Jordan Love, according to most metrics guys, was one of the best quarterbacks on the field last year. You know, it depends on are you a passer rating person? Are you a QBR person? I happen to like QBR, even though some people think it's a made-up stat by ESPN, whatevs. It tries to take in totality the performance of the quarterbacks and compare them to each other. And QBR regular season last year, Jordan Love was third behind Brock Purdy and Drake May. Drake May, who was, of course, the runner-up for the MVP. And if you're looking for the MVP, Matthew Stafford, he finished fourth just behind Jordan Love. So by that metric, Jordan Love was one of the best quarterbacks on the field last year. How in the world does this Nick Shook rank him 14th? It feels like you're basing this on something you saw from Jordan Love a few years ago and not the Jordan Love that was actually on the field this last year, Gabe.
Yeah, look, for Jordan to work his way up at any of these lists, and he's criminally low at 14. Like, we can just, we can argue about where he belongs, but if you have somebody like Jordan at 14, like, I'm just dismissing you. Like, I can't take this opinion seriously. I just can't. Can't do it. But in order for Jordan to get more respect from people, Packers got to win more playoff games. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Win a division, win playoff games. It's having that team success, even though, again, it's team success that ultimately rises for the quarterbacks. Like, Brett was pretty good in 1994, but he started winning, he started getting more recognition when the Packers made it to an NFC Championship game the next year. Same thing with Aaron when he made it the Super Bowl in 2010. He was getting some love, certainly in 2009. 2010, they go on that run, and then it kind of solidifies him for the rest of his career and who he's going to be. So it's having that team success that I think ultimately is going to get him off of any of these lists that have him ranked too low.
I just think they're not going to crack the guys that have done it, even though Jordan had a better year than most of them, but they're not going to crack Allen. They're not going to crack Dak. They're Hurts has the Super Bowl. Lamar. I'm just telling you, Joe Burrow. I mean, everyone loves Burrow, right, Gabe? Everyone loves Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
What have you done?
Again, I think.
What have you done? You've been hurt.
Yeah, but at some point, when you watch these guys play, there's 4 quarterbacks that I think, whatever order you want to put in, that are kind of jostling for those top 4 spots each and every year, and it's Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Lamar.
Yeah.
So then there's still 10. I'm not saying Jordan deserves to be above any of those guys. But there's
Stafford?
10 guys between Jordan and that group.
Gabe, they're probably throwing Stafford for what he's done.
Sure.
Stafford's in there. He's in the top tier. In fact, Chewy, I want to tell you this, and we should go over who some of the quarterbacks are that are above him because some of them feel egregious. But Jordan Love is in the tier 3. He is the first quarterback of Tier 3. But let me tell you who the other quarterbacks are who are with him in Tier 3. Brock Purdy, who I just mentioned had a great QBR for the season. Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts, C.J. Stroud, and that is Tier 3.
He should be probably middle Tier 2.
So let's go to Tier 2, because I think that is that's valuable information as well. Tier 2 includes Sam Darnold, your Super Bowl champ, Caleb
Also led the league in
Williams.
turnovers in the regular season.
He did, but he cleaned it up in the postseason. And again, I don't know if this is a regular season ranking or if it's the totality of what you did in the playoffs as well.
But again, he didn't play great in the he had one good postseason game. He wasn't
NFC
great in that
Championship
Super Bowl.
game.
Did anybody watch the Super Bowl?
Jared Goff is in Tier 2. Joe Burrow is in Tier 2. Lamar Jackson in Tier 2. Daniel Jones in Tier 2. And the injured Patrick Mahomes in Tier 2.
Daniel Jones is a joke. Really? Where's Justin Herbert?
I think
Tier
they
1.
have him in Tier 1, yeah.
Tier 1, baby. You know who's
There
right
you
behind
go.
him in Tier 1, Chew?
Who?
Trevor Lawrence, baby.
Oh, yeah. See, that's where, if you're going to put him anywhere, you put him with Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, he's better than Trevor.
Well, but Trevor, some
I'm
of
just
what's
saying
happening
in that
there, I think,
grouping.
is narrative-based, right?
Yeah.
Because Trevor has been so lousy since he left college. This was the first year that he actually seemed like the guy that we saw in college, the franchise quarterback. According to this article, he had played his best football of his career.
Well, let me ask you this, Jen. Are the people in San Francisco complaining like we are about Purdy?
100%. And they should be.
Yeah.
Like
And they
Purdy's
should-
Purdy's better
yeah.
than Daniel Jones and Jared Goff and Caleb Williams and
I agree.
Trevor Lawrence.
So who are the Tier 1s?
The Tier 1s this year.
Who you'd think?
Yeah,
Okay.
Stafford, Allen, Dak, May, Herbert, Lawrence.
May's a little early. Come on. It's just the flavor of the day.
I mean,
okay, then go back
maybe,
to when
but-
Jordan played those unbelievable 9 games the first year he started.
But if I'm going to use the QBR to defend Jordan Love this past season, he had a 73.1 QBR. Drake May led all starting quarterbacks with a 77.2 QBR. So I can't, what do they call it? Cut off your nose to spite your face, right?
Sure.
If I'm going to use that to defend Jordan Love's that he deserves to be higher on this list, I can't dismiss it when we're talking about Drake May.
Yeah, look, I mean, Drake was runner-up and very well could have won the MVP this year. But again, it's this for him and for any young quarterback, for half the guys on this list that we're looking at, Drake May, Lawrence, even Herbert, Sam Darnold, Caleb, Daniel Jones, all these guys that are ahead of Jordan, go do it again.
I just think
Go do it again. That's because that's what makes you a great quarterback to what you're talking about, you.
A more accurate study would have been if they asked 32 GMs and said, would you rather have Jared Goff or Jordan Love? They're taking Jordan Love, right? Would you rather have Justin Herbert or Jordan Love? That might go. There'll be votes either way, but it's just like, come on, Drake May?
Daniel Jones being ahead of
You know who had a great rookie year? Look where he's at now.
Oh, yeah.
C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, right?
Yep.
Great rookie year. And where is he at, Gabe, now? Tier 3? After, it's just, I guess people got to write trash.
Same thing with Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Who had a fantastic rookie year, but now people
Sure.
forgot about him. Yeah, it's just it's a flavor of the
flavor
month
of the
type thing.
day.
Yeah, and again, if you want to put together a list and you think objectively that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Jordan Love, then I just can't. I can't help you. You cannot be helped.
No.
Right? Like, yeah, you can make an argument for a lot of those guys, but there's just some like, no, man, like Daniel Jones played a handful of good games, ruptured his Achilles, and now who knows what the hell he's going to be.
Yep.
Maybe there's value in reading what Nick Shook said about Jordan Love and why he ranked him in the 14th spot on his list for NFL quarterbacks in 2025. Here's what he had to say. Jordan Love peaked in a Week 8 win over Aaron Rodgers' Steelers, throwing the Packers to victory on the road, but never quite found the level of consistency Green Bay needs from its franchise quarterback. He enjoyed some highs with the 4-touchdown showing against Detroit on Thanksgiving coming to mind. He just needs to do it more often in order to help the Packers reach their potential. And look, I could argue that there were times
about everybody else ahead
I
of
know.
him.
Now read
100%.
Daniel Jones.
Who didn't finish the season, and his team missed the playoffs, and was on their way to missing the playoffs before he got injured. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. What are we doing here?
No, it's fair. I will say this, though. There were times at the end of the season where a more Herculean, heroic effort by Jordan Love would have maybe won them games, right? In that 5-game losing stretch, were there times where Jordan had the ball in his hand and the offense couldn't make the play to put them in the end zone to maybe win the game? Yes. And I would argue that maybe, and again, I don't know this because I think, again, this is way too low for what Jordan Love did this past year. But maybe this author is holding those situations against him as well.
He didn't finish or play in in 3 of those 5 losses. He got knocked out in the Bears game, couldn't play against the Ravens, and they held him out against the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if that's going to be held against him, then what did Daniel Jones do those weeks, Jen? Oh, wait, he didn't do anything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, you just can't watch Daniel. Yes, Daniel Jones is a great story. Like, I was rooting for the guy this year. I thought it was an awesome story for him to kind of be a second Sam Darnold, where you change teams, you've gone through it a little bit, and now you're having success. But I'm not watching really either one of those guys and going, oh, yeah, they're better than Jordan.
Wasn't Jordan Love's peak the 330 yards and 4 touchdowns in the playoff game against the Bears? Isn't that the biggest moment?
Yeah, but the defense let him down, so sorry, we got to knock Jordan for that one. Sorry, Josh. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
800-990-3776. We put it 76. We put it on the we put it on the ESPN Milwaukee
yeah, exactly.
Poll.
You've had some issues here the last couple of weeks.
Poll. Jordan Love is a top blank quarterback in the NFL. My husband's out of town. What do you expect from me?
She didn't have her pavement
Top
sandwich this
3,
morning.
top 5, top 10, top 15. Where would you put Jordan Love right now? I guess I said top 10. Which, again, maybe you could make the argument that, Jen, what are you mad about then? They gave him 14. So we're going to sit here and quibble over 4 spots. I don't know that he's 10, but I do think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. And the performance this past year was incredible, stellar. It was the best we've seen from Jordan Love. Do we want him to be able to take that step? Obviously. We want him to be able to have the ball in his hands, to put the ball in the end zone, to win those games down the stretch. But I don't think that he is the 14th best quarterback in the league, not by a long shot. Let us know what you think, 800-990-3776, because it does feel a little all across the board, right? Like, what exactly are you using to come to these rankings? Why are some guys getting the benefit of the doubt and other guys not? It feels like Jordan Love is being held to a standard he set several years ago as opposed to what he showed on the field this year.
Jared Goff produced at a rate that was similar to the last 2 seasons, tried his best to rescue an offense, a Lions offense that declined in 2025. The running game's disappearance undercut their chances, though, and put a target on his back that he was unable to shed in the final month of the regular season. Oh, so he wasn't good enough. It's a different way of saying that. Yeah, but sure, let's go ahead and put him 8th on this list.
800-990-3776. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to talk about this morning. Stick around. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. I told you guys last week, cable snapped on our garage door. And if you find yourself in that situation, you should call my friends at Geist. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build you a custom design to meet your exact needs if that's the direction you want to go. Go to geistdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, see hundreds of doors and openers, and their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geist, GEIS doors.com. That's GEIS doors.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on, then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Wisconsin homes ask a lot of their windows and doors. They need to be ready for anything year-round. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, everything we do is built around quality and durability. You shouldn't have to make compromises to ensure you're comfortable at home. So right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 4 years. Learn how the right windows and doors can make a meaningful difference in your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. With Pella, you'll get expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and the way you live. From design to installation, Pella's local experts are there to guide you every step of the way, helping you choose the right options for your home, your style, and your budget. Thanks to 0% financing until 2030 and our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your decision long after installation day. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 2/28/2026. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Wisconsin Lutheran junior forward Cager Knippel. Knippel delivered the best performance of his season, pouring in a career-high 31 points while shooting 63% from the field, marking his third straight game with at least 15 points as the unbeaten Vikings continue their dominant run. The younger brother of Charlotte Hornets rookie star Con Knippel, Cager has drawn significant Division I recruiting interest of his own as he continues to elevate his game for Wisconsin Lutheran, who remains undefeated and nationally ranked as the postseason approaches. Congratulations to Cager Knippel, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah, how do you?
On 94.5 ESPN.
I'm sorry, I'm just chuckling at the irony of drop that, and now we've been using it for the last 4 years. She doesn't run my life. 800-990-3776. Reaction rolling in fast and furious on our conversation about Jordan Love being the 14th ranked quarterback in the NFL, according to a reporter and author at NFL.com. Dave from Aaron says, Tier 3 is crazy. Mid-Tier 2 is where Love should be. While Jim and Madison says, I can name 7 quarterbacks who are clearly better than Love right now, and at least 10 more whose teams would be foolish to trade them straight up for Love, so 14 doesn't feel that outrageous.
Do it then. Do it, Jim.
Well, and to that point, guys, Hunter weighs in and says, Love is a quarterback where people see what they want to see. And honestly, it's 50-50 good, bad. You can look at some of his passes and go, he's the guy. And then you can see just as many and go, what is he thinking here? He's not elite, but he's not bad either. Does that seem fair, Chew?
He's not elite. What was the, what did he call him? Good?
But he's not bad either.
He's a little better than not bad. We're just waiting for him to be elite or evolve because we've been kind of spoiled here for the last 35 years.
I mean, I don't know what else you want from it. What else do you want from him out of that playoff game? If we're talking about
more, Gabe, what I want is more Steeler games.
Yeah, but I'm saying he gave you that down the stretch. Again, he was injured for some of that, and he had to miss games because of a concussion, and then they held him out. But I mean, he played really well against the Steelers. He played really well on national television against the Detroit Lions. He played incredibly well in the postseason game. Like, the consistency's there. If you want to think that it's not, that tells me you're not paying attention.
Also, well, are you putting him tier 1, Gabe?
I'd probably put him, either he's bottom tier 1 or right outside of it.
Yeah, I can't go that far yet.
Statistically, based on what we saw last year, you can't put him outside like the top 4. Based on all the things we have to evaluate these quarterbacks.
I mean, I will just because of the track records of who the top 4
but,
are.
I mean, Lamar was awful.
Sure.
Yeah. But he was hurt. But will he return to it? Yeah, probably. But based on what we just saw last year, you can't argue that Lamar was better. There's no way he was.
Yeah, but in terms of who do I want as my quarterback next year?
Sure.
Like,
so
Lamar's
then top
on that
5.
list.
Yeah, but say what you want. You still, and give me whatever you guys got. 9-7-1 is not acceptable, boys. It's not acceptable.
Right, but how much of that is on his shoulders, right? We talk about the pie chart of blame. I was even wondering, Chew, as people sit there and question Jordan Love, is any of the deficiencies that you might be pointing to play calling? Is any of it?
Yeah, sure. But we all know quarterbacks get too much praise and they get too much blame.
We don't have to operate that way, though. It doesn't have to work that way. We can be different, Chew. We can choose to be different.
Gabe, I just think at the end of the day, whatever you want to say, hurt, lost 5 in a row. You're 9-7-1. You're the 7th seed, and you lost in the first round. I can't crown them. I'm sorry, I can't.
800-990-3776.
Terrible, but I just cannot put him tier 1.
Well, again, so if he plays that game against Chicago, I think they win. If he finishes that game against
the Bears, well, they should have won.
Yeah.
You mean the one he got hurt in?
Correct. The one he got hurt in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win that game. Right? And
they don't win Baltimore.
They don't win Baltimore. But then if they've got something to play for, maybe he's playing against Minnesota at the end.
Sure.
Right?
But and I said you could say whatever you want. I'm just, at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are.
Okay, calm down, Jimmy Johnson.
800-990-3776. Want to get to a little bit more of this reaction before we move on here. Love was good, but he still isn't that quarterback that makes everyone around him better. That from Jay in the 262. Probably upper tier 2 for Love. We're probably spoiled by Aaron for all those years of perfection that others compare Love to him, so we don't see him as good as he actually is. That from Jake in the 608. Love should be considered in the top 8 of NFL quarterbacks. I feel it is still the Eagles' loss that these experts are looking at. Caleb Williams being that high, Strofe could have had that completion percentage from Jared in the 920.
Let's not get too out of. I mean,
especially when he's been so quiet, we haven't had to see any of his videos as of late.
Love
but
gets
the
zero.
combine is around the corner.
Oh, yeah, you know it's coming right up.
Combine 2.0.
He's working on content as we speak. Love gets 0 credit. What I don't get is some people think he's not even the best QB on the team. I see it all the time on social media. That from Jaime in Orlando.
Just go to the YouTube chat. You'll find it.
Today, actually. Keep getting us your reaction to Jordan Love being ranked 14th, according to NFL.com, of all of the quarterbacks' performances in 2025. Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Drake May, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence are your tier 1 quarterbacks, according to this list. Jordan Love is tier 3, according to this list. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We roll on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got delays along northbound 4394 coming up and around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. Westbound 94 slowing down from 27th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's kind of a heavy ride from 92nd Street to Hawley Road. Southbound on 43 slowing down just south of Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down to about Locust. And then westbound 894, you're backing up out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a high of 44. Tonight, chance of showers with isolated thunder, cloudy with a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Shoot. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
The NBA All-Star Game is now in the rearview mirror. All-Star Weekend in the rearview. Teams are turning their attention to the second half of the season, and a conversation that will linger no matter whether you want it to or not is the idea of tanking in the NBA. Adam Silver stepped in front of a microphone, stepped behind the podium over the weekend. He said that the league is prepared to do every possible remedy to stop tanking. They are considering every possible remedy, even drastic changes. Which brings us to the suggestion that the NBA eliminate the draft. And when I first started to see this, I was like, oh, somebody's being a contrarian today. Somebody woke up and chose violence. But the more I read it, the more it sort of feels justifiable at this point. Tanking is nothing new. It's not like, teams woke up this year and were like, you know what we should do? We should not win games in order to improve our lottery, in order to improve our team in the future. And hell, we even talked about it for the Milwaukee Bucks. Should Giannis Antetokounmpo sit for the remainder of the season so that the Bucks ostensibly lose more games and improve their chances of getting a player who can complement Giannis Antetokounmpo for future seasons? Talked about it here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe, when you hear people, highly respected people, by the way, Tom Haberstroh, who's been covering the league for decades, David Dennis Jr., who has been on ESPN talking about this. When you hear them say that they should consider eliminating the NBA draft, what is your initial reaction?
That there's no way that the owners would ever let it happen, right? Like, yeah, maybe Adam Silver would consider it, but if he's going to make a drastic change like that, owners aren't going to allow that to happen. Kind of for the same reason we talked about with some of the grades, yesterday with the NFLPA and how they put out grades and owners weren't happy with it, so they got that to shut down. Like, owners don't want to admit that they're running a bad franchise. And the thought behind this would be, okay, instead of, you being bad, getting rewarded with a really good pick, now you have to run a good franchise, one that those top players, those top rookies want to go to. That they want to be able to go and play for your organization because you're well run. They've got an opportunity to win. And over time, things would balance out, right? Because let's say the top couple of rookies go to the Lakers next year because they want to go to the Lakers, and that's a team they always wanted to play for. Well, the Lakers aren't going to just continue to get all the young talent. You only have so many roster spots over the course of a season. So, they think it would balance, but the people who are proponents would think it would balance out. But I just don't think there's any way the league would ever go for it, because getting rid of the draft would also getting rid of content. ESPN pays for the draft, right? That's 2 nights of content that the league gets paid for that they would have to make up in other ways.
So the players would choose where they want to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
like
it's
if you're a
free
rookie coming
agency
into the
right
league.
out of the gate?
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's how soccer leagues in Europe are run. There is no,
Are they really?
you get to pick where you go. Yep.
So how do bad teams dig out of holes?
They pay for it.
No, that's a bad.
You got to be a well-run organization.
You pay your way to championships.
Yeah, you may be a bad team, but if you're a well-run organization, you're one that somebody wants to come play for.
And look, it goes without saying that we love Milwaukee. We have all chosen to make it our homes. But there is a narrative nationwide about Milwaukee. Aaron Rodgers referenced it when he was talking about Green Bay and how players don't exactly go to Green Bay. You know, what was the way they come to play with me? It's not a hot spot destination, if you will. There was a clip from years and years and years ago about an NBA player who ended up in Milwaukee, and he was like, dang, Milwaukee, right? Like, so there is this narrative where maybe players wouldn't want to go to Milwaukee. Once they get here, they realize, obviously, it's an incredible sports town, and the fans get behind you 100%, and it turns out to be a great situation. But are there people who would choose that situation? I don't know, Gabe. You know, and again, we're not dogging Milwaukee. We know it's fantastic. But I think there's a narrative elsewhere that maybe it's not the premier destination for athletes to go. And if people are now choosing where they go, how often would they be choosing Milwaukee?
Yeah, and there's, cities like Detroit, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, like Salt Lake City. There's a lot of these places that aren't necessarily destination cities that the ownership would push against any sort of draft not happening.
And that just spikes something in my brain, how dumb Goody's philosophy is. Because young guys don't really want to go to Green Bay because they want to get their rage on early in their career. You know who wants to go to Green Bay? Guys who are at the back end. Like, hey, you know what? I had my rage. Let's just go to this nice community, great football. They love it. Look at the players we got. Reggie, Sean Jones, Eugene Robinson, Mike Pryor commitments. It's really... No, I'm serious. When you're young...
Oh, yeah.
Players don't want to go to Green Bay. They want to go to, glitz and glitter and all that stuff. So you kind of have your picking of veterans if you wanted them. Milwaukee's probably the same way when it comes to hoops.
Yeah, but you have to have a good base and a championship-style team for those people to want to come here. Yeah. And so that's the thought, is owners can't just cheap out, can't just start to lose games, and it would be better for the fans because ultimately everybody's trying to compete each and every year instead of tanking. And it's just funny. It's just funny to me that we're selectively outraged about tanking in the NFL. What exactly do we think the Raiders did this year when Max Crosby got pissed off because they shut him down?
But is there revenue sharing?
I believe there's a word for that. But apparently it's not a problem in the NFL.
It's an easy answer, waning interest.
Is there revenue sharing in the NBA?
Yeah, of course there is, yeah.
Because some owners, and I'm not gonna, we beat up on the guy, I think everyone knows who I'm talking about, was fine with collecting the check that every NFL owner gets every year. Win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but you're not going to change it. It is what it is. Where they get hurt, Gabe, is free agency. You go into their facilities and be like, yeah.
Who are you talking about?
Well, I take them out all the time.
So why are you hesitating now?
I don't know. But I'll tell you another thing.
Bengals. He is talking about the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, but I also think that I mentioned the Chinese New Year earlier in the show, and now he's conscious of the energy that he brings this day and how that affects the rest of the year, and so he doesn't want to dog this guy publicly because, Chinese New Year and energy. I'm just throwing that out there as a possible explanation.
He forgot it was the Chinese New Year.
He also started downplaying the seven wonders of the world.
What are you guys on the Zodiac for the Chinese Zodiac? I think I'm the monkey.
Would it shock you to learn I'm a rooster?
Is it? No, it does not.
How into this did you get?
Yeah. Why do you guys know this?
Yes. I don't know I heard a couple of teammates the other day talking about regular zodiac sign. I don't know any of this stuff.
The Chinese Zodiac isn't based on months, right, Jen? It's based on years.
Yeah, the year you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah,
I don't know either one of those. I don't know
back
what
to the NBA draft. Everyone.
Josh just wants to get the hell out of here and go on vacation.
I have no. Oh, you get a little senioritis?
I was just trying to keep us on task. We ended up with Chinese
luck.
New Year, things of that nature. Because I do think what the piece everyone's not discussing here is the NBA has waning interest. They have fans that are getting angry because players aren't playing. They have too long of a season. They have players who are combative towards the idea of playing gasp 2 days in a row, like it's inhumane treatment. And the NBA has to figure out a way to not have 10 teams that are, frankly, not even rolling their best players out. The Jazz were just sitting people.
Well, they refused to play guys in the fourth quarter.
The whole fourth quarter, they would have leads.
Well, and yes, and they accidentally won one of those games against Miami. It was funny because Lauri Markkanen, who's one of their best players, who's one of they sat in the fourth. Well, he was on a minutes restriction. Well, usually when you know somebody's on a minutes restriction, we know this because Giannis went through it. You budget the minutes so they're available in the fourth quarter. Don't just use them all up in the first three.
So, I mean, I doubt the NBA is ever going to get rid of the draft. I do think there's plenty of good justification for it. I think it makes a lot of sense when you talk about it and all the other leagues that do it. You know, the sports ownership and sports in America love to socialize costs and privatize profits. So why should the players not be able to live under the same options of the free market capitalism? And if you're worth that much, you get to be free agent.
Right, let me ask you this,
get to pick
Josh.
your options.
Why aren't fans in line with tanking like they are in the NFL? Because I guarantee most Raider fans were like, hey, lose. We want Mendoza. Tank.
What do you mean, why aren't they in line? I think
wouldn't the Jazz be like, hey, fans be like, yeah.
No,
I'm
you
all
make a
for
great
it.
point. I mean, I remember Suck for Luck.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like that, and people were championing it. People were celebrating it. It was like, we know that we can get this incredible talent. Let's do everything we can to do so. Again, we have talked about to suspend the current satisfaction for future satisfaction.
I mean, the reason is we as a sporting public in this country have an addiction to football.
Yeah.
And people are going to watch and enjoy football regardless. That's just not the case in the NBA.
And maybe it's happened, and there's probably a few cases, but oftentimes the coaches and the players are not tanking in the NFL.
And this is like the first time we're even in the NBA,
right?
Like this is the first time where a coach was like holding people back and not playing them,
100%.
and that's why this is coming to the forefront again because the Jazz were so egregious in the way that they did it. At least do what the pretend. All right, do what the Raiders did and with Max Crosby. Like,
Gabe, the coach is being told to do that.
Oh, 100%.
The coach isn't doing it on his own.
Yes, but at least teams typically, Chew, have the guys. They'll at least, they're at least going to pretend. Oh, this guy's he's got a sore knee. He can't play it all tonight. Instead of playing them for 3 quarters and then going, oh, it's winning time. Yeah, let's bring in the backups.
What is the solution, though? Is there a way that the NBA could incentivize? It seems right now it's so heavily weighted that people are willing to do what we have discussed, sit starters, intentionally lose, et cetera, to improve the odds. Could you do like a bell curve where it wouldn't be so heavy for the worst teams, but if you're in the top 10, everybody has the same, and by top 10, I mean bottom 10, obviously. We're talking about the lottery order now. Everybody has the same chances of getting the first overall pick. You know what I mean? Instead of it being so heavily towards I know that there's a ping pong balls and all of those things, but like, is there a way of making it where, hey, if you're one of the 10 worst teams, you got the same odds as everybody else of getting that first pick?
I mean, but teams are going to still tank to make sure that because they don't want to be on that 10-11 line, right? Because now if you're 11, you don't have the same odds, so they want to avoid that, so they'll tank just to make sure that they're 4 or 5.
The option I've heard that makes some sense, there's obviously holes we can poke in all of these, is moving up to when the lottery is determined. So if you force teams to still be in it at maybe the halfway point of the season, you would have less teams tanking throughout the course of the season. So there would be teams are still trying to figure out, are we in this, are we not? And then, guess what? It's now, and sure, teams would tank within close to that, but
look at what the Bulls did.
But you're saying that perhaps you would get a better product for longer.
Yes.
What if you turned it into
and then
an
once
auction?
It's gone, then you just go out there and you try and win because you're competitors.
Turn it into an auction where it's like, okay, Utah, you got the number 1 pick, but New Orleans, if you want to spend $10 million more for the number one pick, we're going to allow you to do it.
That's just...
Where's that money going?
To whom?
Into the pockets.
Of who?
The fans.
Yeah.
I just got on board. But to be honest with you, that was my issue with this whole free agency thing, was then all of a sudden, I think that there are certain markets, and maybe Milwaukee's one of them, maybe not, but certain markets that are at a significant disadvantage when it comes to luring the young talent to their city, to their markets. And then it feels like, for all the disadvantages that we talk about with the Brewers in Major League Baseball, then it feels like, and again, I could be wrong about this, but it feels like the Milwaukee basketball market might be suffering a disadvantage.
I think it would be one of those things where when it starts out, yes, but as some of those destination cities kind of fill up with young talent, they can't have the young talent every year.
Right.
So then it kind of evens out, and the talent will still end up dispersing across the league. Just early, if they were to do this early, yes, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Heat, teams like that, the destination cities that you always hear about everybody wanting to go to, those cities would have the advantage early, certainly. And then as you went along, I think it would equal out. But the problem also in the NBA is draft picks are currency in terms of acquiring players and trades. And that might make one of the more exciting things about the NBA, the trade deadline, the offseason, a little less exciting if you don't have those picks to exchange hands.
It's hard to compare it to the MLB because the MLB is uniquely poorly structured in the way that market size can dictate so much. The lack of the cap, the Knicks still are going to have numbers they have to be within. They aren't going to be able, like in Europe, where you can just buy every single good player if you'd like to and pay them the most. That's not an option in the NBA. The MLB, that's more of an issue where the Dodgers can just continue to spend. So once every single player is, if there were no draft there, then what are they going to do? Because the Dodgers just buy every good player at that point.
800-990-3776. There's been a lot of conversation and chatter. And look, I even saw speculation yesterday on social media that it is an orchestrated chatter, that the league is sort of dropping these hints to reporters and dropping hints to, and it's sort of an orchestrated, hey, let's float this idea out there, which we have seen elsewhere in sports where these owners or commissioners float ideas out there, see what the public response is to it before they start to wholeheartedly champion for it. 800-990-3776. Let us know your reaction to suggestions that the NBA eliminate the lottery and go to a free agent model, eliminate the draft and go to a free agent model in order to stop tanking in the league. We got to take a break. We got power rankings coming up next with Chewy right after this.
Boost culture with captivating corporate events like appreciation parties, brand activations, and more with Events by Design. The creative team at Events by Design, they truly enjoy the work they do, believing every event should not just be successful, but fun. One people are still talking about years later. And what's great about Events by Design is maybe you're just looking for that little thing to kind of help boost your event. That's what they did with us, providing walk-up music on the 14th hole last summer at our ESPN Milwaukee golf outing. But maybe you want something bigger, and they can handle big. They were helping out with the night market during the summer right outside our office on Wisconsin Avenue. They helped out with the holiday market. Maybe you went to that outside Fiserv Forum back in November. Whether it's something little, whether it's something big, Events by Design is going to be able to help you out. So retain that top talent. Invest in your culture today. Just search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Got some delays southbound 43 from just south of Hampton all the way down towards Locust. We've got northbound 4394 backing up from about Howard Avenue up past Oklahoma. Westbound 94 delays now from just west of 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is backing up just before 84th Street all the way to Hawley Road. A few more taps on the brakes coming out of the Stadium interchange to 35th Street. And westbound 894 backing up from 27th all the way almost to Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a high of 44. Tonight, chance of showers with isolated thunder, cloudy with a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd, that's a small city. But they chose relief without surgery. 40,000 people who said stop before replacing their knee or hip. There has to be another way. And they found that at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. It's those 40,000 patients who thought that they were out of options and surgery was the only answer. But today, they're moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics and their advanced regenerative treatments. The truth is, surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics and Dr. Ashley Caravelli is right here in Milwaukee, using safe, natural treatments backed by real science. Treatments that activate your body's natural healing powers. Safe, natural, and non-surgical. And this is critical. The sooner you start, the faster the inflammation will ease. So it's important to get started now. 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call now at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you experience an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business for 130 years, Horicon Bank has helped Wisconsin businesses grow, doing banking differently since 1896. Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. If you're a local business, that same local approach is part of the Milwaukee business community, bringing decisions closer to you. Financing approved in days, not weeks. Bankers who understand your business. Products built for real cash flow needs. When it comes to commercial lending, Horicon Bank gets the job done. Together, doing well for 130 years.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question. I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj?
Like, I was thinking, okay,
who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've enjoyed having PCI help us with all of our home projects. As you might know, my husband and I are not the most handy people, so when we get into a jam, we always reach out to our friends at PCI. In fact, you know, it's the off season. My thumbs are twitching. I got a project. I got to call my friends over at PCI, have them come over, assess the situation, and maybe you're in that same spot. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you're ready to refresh an outdated room. The PCI team can help you with that with their photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list all delivered to you. Learn more about that and everything that PCI can do for you at their website, professionalconstructioninc.com.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You catch the game last night? Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
Okay, good list here. With all the coaching changes and coordinators.
We'll be the judges of that, by the way.
Pretty much full. With all the drama surrounding it, I want you to give me the top 10 coaching staffs. I think it was general managers, too. Let me just take a look.
Off to a rough start.
Don't make me go rooster on you. Coaching staff and coordinators for 2025. Okay? Top 10.
So
this
is going into last year.
Well, the grading was at the end of last year.
So the top coaching staffs of last year.
Correct.
Okay.
You good with it?
Wait, so these rankings came out at the end of the regular season?
was my understanding that there would be no questions. I would just give you a list.
Well, I got to understand the list before I properly guess the list.
Are we talking end of the season in December?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? My ranking from this piece this last year, yes.
So does it have fire-ins in it? Because wouldn't John Harbaugh's...
No, this is John Harbaugh in Baltimore. And
Okay,
his staff.
that's what I was saying.
Well,
Yeah.
since John Harbaugh got fired, I guess I'm hoping he's not in the top 10.
God feeling he will be.
Okay, with that, give me number... You guys are jerks. I don't know why you do this.
I think we're just looking for clarification, sir.
I was pretty clear, I think. Not 100%.
You started by going, I'm not sure if general manager's included in this. Just give me a second.
Okay, are we
That's where
good?
we started.
Josh, we good?
Yep.
That wasn't a confident yet.
Is Harbaugh on the list, the fired, and now...
No, I don't want to scroll the other way. I got it at 10, and I want to go down. Give me 10.
I have no way of knowing how this list is going to shake out. I guess at the
Sean
beginning of the
McVay.
season, who did we... Sean McVay, nice. He's on the list, I'm guessing. At the beginning of the season, who did we think had good coaching staffs?
Yeah,
right?
but we have to do it in order. We're doing it the way we typically do power rankings. Is the way he wants to do it. So we're starting at 10. We're going to work our way to 1.
There's no way we're going to get this.
No. That is
Well, you
correct.
should get 3 at least. I mean,
Okay, top 10 coaching staff at the end of the season. Green Bay Packers, 10.
I will say Chicago Bears 10.
there you go, Jen. You got 1. Green Bay Packers are 10.
Really? I had no idea.
Yep. 9. Oh, wow. This is weird. I should have looked at this.
I forfeit.
No. Don't forfeit.
What were
Just
you
think
doing?
of who would you think is the worst coaching staff in the NFL this last year?
The Raiders.
They're number 9.
This is the worst list you've ever...
No, it's not done.
You said you
Trust me, we're 2 in and we can make that determination.
You said this is a good
This
one.
is a
It's already
weird
bad.
list. Give me 8. Give me another, 20. You'd think it'd be 28.
Titans?
Nope.
No, whose job isn't...
Josh, have you seen the list?
I have not, no.
Okay.
I don't even know how to be.
I think that's
I would
exactly what
search
I was
for the
saying.
list.
I don't even.
Could it be like Cowboys?
Sure, let's go with Cowboys.
You were close. Philadelphia.
Yeah, super close. This is awful. I don't even want to
7.
play anymore because we can't win.
That's part of the fun.
Favorite game.
Who's having fun?
Chewy is.
What do you mean you win? I had a hand just like that.
7.
before. I didn't
Falcons.
Because I win.
Coach was canned.
Well, I got that part right. I said the Falcons.
You were wrong. Jen?
Nope, not playing.
Buffalo.
That was a good one.
They're 7. 6. Good coaching staff. This belongs on the list.
Kyle Shanahan.
You were close.
Sean McVay.
Sean Payton. You had the Sean right.
You know that doesn't count at all, right?
Number 5. Roll
It's
it
the
back.
horseshoes and hand
Roll
grenades.
it right back, Gabe.
Rams.
Rams. Sean McVay at 5.
Sean
You know, the only
McVay.
reason I did this is because we were up against the clock and we didn't have time for a
You
long
gave us
list.
an impossible list to figure out.
Number 4, canned like tuna. Didn't have a good year.
Again, every time you say
Harbaugh.
canned like do not, it goes directly
John-
against what the list is supposed to be.
I know. You're right, Gabe.
Ravens. Yeah.
John Harbaugh. So you're already at 3.
From just randomly guessing and maybe putting together your one clue with the answer.
Yeah, it helps to know how Chewy's brain works.
3. Both assistants became head coaches. That's a good little riddle right there.
It's
Both
a clue, but yeah.
assistants became
In this
head
cycle?
coaches.
The Lions?
No, that would be...
I mean, that was the previous cycle.
Oh, it might have been his brother who became... The last name became a coordinator. I didn't know he had a brother. San Francisco. Clay Kubiak and Robert Saleh.
Clay.
Because Clint was with Seattle,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so the
We're getting
49ers
there.
were 3.
2. Been there forever.
Andy Reid?
Good call. That was good. And number 1.
Best
weird
coaching
one.
staff.
The
in the
best
NFL.
coaching staff, close to home.
Bears?
Nope.
Close to home. Is it mean some guy who was affiliated with Green Bay?
Vikings.
You got
Lions.
it. The Vikings are number one.
What
'cause of
in the
Flores.
world?
Yep.
How are the Patriots nowhere in the top 10?
Let me see where the Patriots are.
I mean,
the Seahawks weren't there. They won the Super Bowl.
Seems like
were 16.
What?
I love that Aaron on the YouTube stream is like, wah, 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 I don't want to play. Jen is pulling a Jason. I didn't know the rules. Like,
I didn't either. Patriots.
Sometimes you just got to suit up and play.
20. Who's that on?
We got such good compliments for a couple of the power rankings we've done recently.
Yeah.
You think you ruined it all?
No,
I think
the
we're
best.
I think we're
the best
closer
was
to
the Raiders
canceling
at
the
9.
segment than we are to extending it.
I mean, the all-time high was the Looney Tunes.
Yes.
It's only been down from there.
Yeah.
Was this the worst
This
ever?
might be the lowest point of
This
power
is
rankings in
bottoming
history.
out pretty hard.
Well,
yeah.
because there was no rhyme or reason for any of the answers, right? You can't have staffs that were ultimately fired on the list of top 10 in a 32-team league, right? They should have been at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
We should have looked for a new list since, everyone got hired in new spots. Maybe
Well,
that
I started
would.
with
I mean,
GMs.
so on this list, the Chiefs fired their OC.
Yep.
Ravens' entire staff got fired. Broncos fired their OC.
Yep.
Buffalo fired their head coach.
Yep.
Eagles fired their OC. Raiders' entire staff got canned.
What is the Raiders doing there?
It's just, I'm getting a lot of respect for Peter Carroll, I guess.
That feels like an accounting error.
My favorite part, though, is how he got to the second entry on the list and said, I should have read this list.
Yeah. As he was
Who
talking.
did it? Pete Shook?
It's his brother. Just like the Kubiaks.
Like Clay and Clint.
Oh, boy. All right. We can't get out of this riptide fast enough. Take a break.
You told me this was dialed.
We got to get out of here. I'm going to do a live read. Everybody shut up and get out of the way. Are you looking for a weight loss option that works? That's where I could tell you about Milwaukee Weight Loss. I'm Josh DiMaggio, and I'm starting that journey with Milwaukee Weight Loss. From the first consultation, their team really listened and built a customized plan around me and my goals. I've lost almost 25 pounds to this point. I'm feeling my best, and I'm trying all sorts of new foods. This Valentine's month, Milwaukee Weight Loss is sharing the love with $300 off during their Valentine's sale now through February 28th only. This program has different, no intense workouts, no prepackaged meals, no counting calories, no drugs, surgery, or injections. Some people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two. Milwaukee Weight Loss has already helped thousands of people change their lives. There's no better time than now to take control and start feeling confident again. Schedule a free consultation at 262-235-3980 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 43, still heavy from Hampton down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. Westbound 94, you got your backups west of 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound from 84th almost to Hawley Road. And then we've got westbound 894 backing up from 35th Street pretty much to Forest Home. The eastbound side, a little slow from 76th Street all the way to about 60th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a high of 44. Tonight, chance of showers with isolated thunder, cloudy with a low of 40. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another two-man scramble tournament is underway. Play TPC Scottsdale for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by February 28th. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Make your next activation or event a slam dunk with Captivate Exhibits, your leader in transforming spaces and creating brand experiences that truly stand out and connect. If you can dream it, Captivate can design it, build it, and activate it. From trade shows and events to enhancing interior spaces like your lobby, history wall, or break room, Captivate Exhibits turns ideas into highlight reels. With over 32 years of award-winning experience, Captivate delivers every time, always beating the buzzer. Get started with your next big idea today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 0% financing for 36 months plus $500 off your project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense, this elite defense.
What Kool-Aid?
Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We have a smidge of breaking news here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We have breaking news.
Tony Clark, who leads the Major League Baseball Players Association, has resigned abruptly from his role. And it sounds like there is an investigation into some alleged improper behavior.
Financial improprieties.
Yep. Federal investigation looking into whether or not MLBPA officials used licensing money or equity to improperly enrich themselves. Gabe, in the history of sports, and again, we just went through this in the NFL, but I cannot think of worse timing for the MLBPA than to lose Tony Clark just months before the CBA is to expire.
Yeah, December 1st is when that expires. Obviously, there was going to be negotiations happening throughout the course of the season. I mean, it already began publicly with a lot of players arriving at spring training and them giving a lot of their thoughts. He's been the executive director since 2013. So he's been doing this for 13 years and seemingly was well-respected. Former player, running things. So to have to go back to the drawing board and to have to go through, because you're not going to want to rush through this process of getting an executive director. Like, you're not going to want to just prop anybody up. You're going to want to go through because you're about to be in probably one of the biggest battles you've been in with baseball management since 1994. And you don't want just anybody to be leading your union going into what's going to be a pretty hostile negotiation. And to be without this guy who's been there for he's been with the union since 2010, took over in 2013. This is enjoy baseball in 2026. I just don't understand. I just don't have any hope with this that anything's going to happen in 2027. Get to the ballpark.
They have to vote on it too. Players do. You have to vote on things
like
that, and that takes time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not great timing.
And I want to talk a little bit about, as we were just discussing, the alleged financial impropriety, using licensing money or equity to improperly enrich themselves. In this day and age, 2026, everything is electronic. Every transaction is electronic. You're not handing people stacks of cash. We're not transferring money bags like in the old days where you picture people like grabbing the money bags off the Brinks trucks and walking them into the bank, right? That's not how business is done. So I guess I'm shocked, Gabe, that this is something that people, and again, these are all alleged situations right now, that people still do. Basically like siphoning money off the top, taking a little bit for yourselves, padding your pockets. In what world do you expect to get away with that anymore when everything is electronically monitored and can be easily flagged?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like my guess is this is probably not going to be the only resignation, kind of like we saw with the MLBPA. Like, usually it's not just one guy. You're going to need multiple people to try to, again, just skim a little bit off the top to put a little bit more in your pocket. And I guess, I don't know if it's just being around and you've got to negotiate with these owners, and even though you're a millionaire, you see these billionaires, so you decide you need a little bit more for yourself. But, man, it's...
Might not even be siphoning. It could be a kickback scheme. Because, I mean, think about it. Think trading cards. How many trading cards are out there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those all have to be negotiated with. Merchandise. I mean, there is billions of dollars. So if you steer a card company to get preferential treatment and say, hey, $50,000 in my pocket, gets a little crazy because there's, like I said, so much money involved.
I'm glad you explained that further, because I guess initially when you started talking about it, I thought that they were just stealing trading cards. I thought that they were going, this Paul Skeens rookie card is going to be worth something someday.
You never know.
It found its way into my pocket. I don't know how. Like, that's what I thought you were saying when you were talking about the impropriety.
Yeah, so who knows? Bad timing, though. Very bad timing.
Yeah.
And Gabe, you've been on this for a while where you just don't think that there's going to be any resolution. Some of the main points, some of the main sticking points are the salary cap and then a salary floor, right? This idea that teams have to spend a minimum amount in order to put a competitive team on the field, year in and year out.
Yeah, the only way that you can get a salary cap to work is get a salary floor, and then there's going to be some teams that are going to be uncomfortable with spending as much that exists on the salary floor, and you got to figure all those different things out. This seems like it's going to be a long negotiation, and any hope that I have as a baseball fan that a baseball season was going to happen in 2027 meant they were at least going to have some negotiations during the season. But now they're going to be spending the majority of the season trying to find their new leader, Chew.
Gabe, let me ask you this. How many teams care about a salary floor? I mean, obviously the Brewers, because they're a small market team, but how many are there? Because it has to come to a vote, because typically a vote in the NFL is 24 have to vote for it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just wondering how many teams will be against a floor.
Well, I mean, but again, if you're doing a cap, you have to have a floor. Like, that's just a part of it. And in order to entice the players at all, like, you have to, in order to limit the spending at the top, right? Like the Dodgers and the Mets and all the money that they're spending, you've got to make up that money somewhere. So you have to do a salary floor, right? So maybe the Pirates, Brewers, Marlins, Rockies,
Royals.
teams like that, Royals. Like, you're going to have to spend a little bit more. But that's the price that's going to have to be paid in order to even entice the players' union, who is and has always been for over 100 years vehemently against the idea of any sort of cap.
So according to the internet, there would be roughly 10 to 15 teams that would be forced to significantly increase their payroll if a floor of, for example, $100 million or $125 million were to be introduced. Marlins, Pirates, Athletics, some of the teams that are mentioned there. I don't even know where that 100 to 125 suggested floor came from, because as we know, 10 to 15 teams is half the league, a third or half the league.
Yeah. Because the problem is right now, you could take all of the money that the teams are spending on players and go, okay, this is what we have to work with. This is the type of money we have to spend across the league in order to make the players happy. But the players' argument would be, well, I mean, next year that would have been even more money, because look at what the Dodgers continue to do. They just continue to spend by going out and getting somebody like Kyle Tucker. And they're, so the money keeps going up. And yeah, it's going to be a complicated issue, and not having your main guy and now having to rehire someone to fill that role, you're going to be behind it, and it's not a negotiation that you're going to want to rush through. It sucks. Just sucks. As I said here as a baseball fan.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy and try to think of happier thoughts when we return.
Yeah, so much for the Chinese New Year.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. Hi, this is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Register to bowl with us on March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Registration is now open. Go to WTMJCares.com to sign up. Act quickly, teams will fill up fast. It's WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies to help the Milwaukee Diaper Mission.
40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd, that's a small city. But they chose relief without surgery. 40,000 people who said stop before replacing their knee or hip. There has to be another way. And they found that at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. It's those 40,000 patients who thought that they were out of options and surgery was the only answer. But today, they're moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics and their advanced regenerative treatments. The truth is, surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics and Dr. Ashley Caravelli is right here in Milwaukee, using safe, natural treatments backed by real science. Treatments that activate your body's natural healing powers. Safe, natural, and non-surgical. And this is critical. The sooner you start, the faster the inflammation will ease. So it's important to get started now. 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call now at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know what's great? Your contracting business is getting bigger. Here's the thing. The bigger your business, the bigger your pile of day-to-day tasks. Invoices, inventory, accounting. As you keep growing, so does the list. Service Titan is here to bring that list of tasks down to size. Our all-in-one solution for the trades makes managing your business needs, all of them, easier and faster than ever before. Learn how Service Titan can help manage the day-to-day of your business. Visit servicetitan.com.
Ben Brust here for the Princely Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princely Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princely Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princely Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm going to go with the corn dog, the old corn dog. The corn dog for the
pierogies
birthday.
and borscht all day long.
That's just crazy. Nobody likes borscht,
Oh,
let alone
God,
on their
it's
birthday.
so good. It's the only thing that makes my mouth water.
other than my wife.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, I was just talking to Gabe during the break, Chew, about something I think you might be interested in. Did you see that Obama backtracked on the aliens?
No.
So Obama came out, he was doing a podcast, and he said that there were aliens. And everybody was like, whoa! Former president admits there is life beyond. And then Obama came out yesterday and was like, let me be clear.
Have you guys ever seen UFO?
Here we go.
I don't think I have. You said you have.
My mother swears by it.
Yeah, I'm pro-alien. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
I believe there are aliens. I'll wait till I encounter one to tell you if I'm pro-alien or not, depending on, how it goes, how that encounter goes.
Yeah, you don't want to, have any, preconceived notions about aliens and who they, may or may not be.
Want to go in with an open mind,
Things of that nature,
but
sure.
if they start probing, then I'm not going to be so pro-alien, I think, right?
Why do they have to be so ugly?
Maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
Maybe they think we're ugly. Did you ever think about that?
Oh, that's a good point.
Some of us more than others.
Huh?
Hey. This is about the hand.
Josh, you're anti-alien, I take it?
Huh?
Well, you just said, here we go, which was very, very condescending.
I was here we going, you having some story that didn't make sense, but now that it's Charlene, I'm a little more apt to believe it.
Yeah, my mother swears that there was something over the top of our house in 1972 and went inside and came back out and it was gone.
Don't we pretty much know at this point most, if not all, UFO sightings that are reported are just like military experiments that they're not telling us about?
In 72? No, they didn't.
Yeah, of course, in 72.
Huh? You don't think they were doing military experiments in 72?
I got to be honest, I was all excited when the former president said.
I read that as him sharing an opinion the whole time. I was confused by the reaction.
But I thought it was at least an informed opinion. I thought it was an educated opinion. I think, after all, he has access to all the classified files. I thought, here we go.
What's the big deal of letting us know? Is there fear that people won't be able to handle it?
Oh, 100%.
Really? We got to toughen up.
People can't handle Jordan Love being 14th on the NFL.com quarterbacks list. I feel like they'd have a real tough time with the admission that there are aliens.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank you for scarring me having to watch the miniseries Pluribus. Now I'm having dreams.
Wait, how far into it are you?
Where they're eating humans. Thank
Spoiler
you.
alert
Thank
for anyone
you.
out there.
In the form of milk.
So I'd say it's more drinking than eating.
Did you at least like the John Cena cameo?
That was actually pretty funny.
It was a slow burn for me, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm excited for it to return. What are we watching now? We're back on Shrinking. Shrinking is out now, so we're watching. Chewy, have you watched Shrinking?
No.
I think you'd like it.
Okay.
You'd
Anybody
certainly
in it?
like the Harrison Ford character.
Okay.
He's like a curmudgeon, but with a soft spot, with a warm heart. Kind of like you, actually.
He doesn't have a warm heart.
He does.
Since
There's
when?
So many. I still haven't even watched Stranger Things. I can't do it.
Well, speaking of aliens, I'm sure that's a. Was he an alien?
Who?
The Stranger Things guy.
The Demogorgon?
Yeah, the Vecna.
No.
Are we sure?
Vecna started as a human.
But then he got exposed to the thing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he had superpowers, but he was not an alien.
That was one that got bad. It was like Breaking Bad. I didn't even finish that.
Breaking Bad is so good.
You guys need to watch Neighbors.
Ooh, I heard
Your
on
friends
HBO.
and neighbors?
Nope, Neighbors. It's
All right.
documentary style.
All right.
About terrible neighbors. I saw that when you mentioned that in the group text, Josh. I looked at the trailer. I don't know if I can.
Josh, he has a bad neighbor from what I hear.
The worst.
I'm a bad neighbor.
It's not shocking.
And I really don't care.
Also, not shocking.
Every Thursday at 4 p.m. Wildy and Tausch is next.
Southbound on 43, we are seeing a few taps on the brakes just getting into the Marquette, but it's looking a lot